Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get this wonderful event started. It's so wonderful to have all of you here tonight. My name is Leah Barrett, and I have the absolute privilege of being the president of Northeast Community College. It's really fun tonight. I came here, moved to Nebraska about 4.5 years ago, and some of the people that greeted me and I've become friends with are here tonight, and it is just, every time we have this event, it just brings so much joy to my heart because of the connections of the people in the room. I see who people are sitting with. I see who is getting hugs from each other. I'm hearing stories about being on intramural football teams together. It's just fantastic. We live in a small area of the world, and the relationships are special, they're incredible, they're deep, and the memories that we're going to get to hear tonight from these incredible honorees is going to warm our hearts, and it's wonderful to have all of you here. Every experience, every challenge, every accomplishment propels us further. Our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, our partners, our region. Together we embark on this journey where the horizon is boundless and the direction is clear. Onward, upward, Northeast. This past year we unveiled our new brand, our new image, our new slogan that symbolizes our trajectory, our values, and our excellence. This evening, on behalf of the Board of Governors, the faculty and staff, I would like to welcome you as we honor members of our college community who attended Northeast in their journey towards successful and distinguished lives and careers, and those who supported Northeast so that others could get a start on that journey. People we are proud to call alumni, friends, and we also will recognize a couple staff members tonight too. So let's get this thing going. It's so wonderful to see so many of you here who have had such an impact on this college. From our current and past Board of Governors and Foundation Board members to our retirees, as well as faculty, staff, and a few students and students of the future. We also have several of our past recipients of these awards. So first, I'd like to greet the family members, spouses, children, grandchildren, friends, colleagues, and others who are here to support and recognize our honorees. We're going to have you first stand up. So the family, friends of the honorees, please stand up so we can recognize you. Now, come on. We have a lot more friends in the house. Come on. It's awesome. We also want to recognize, we have several of our board members here tonight. So if you all will stand up as I recognize you. Dell Ames of Neely, Steve Anderson of Concord, Donovan Ellis of Pierce, and Nicole Saladchek of O'Neill. We also have a couple of our foundation board members here tonight. Again, Dell Ames of Neely, who represents the Board of Governors on the foundation board, and Courtney Schmidt of Madison. Woohoo! Now, this is what is so fun. I've only been at the institution just a little over 4 years, like I said, but in this room tonight, we have several of our previous Northeast Community College Award recipients for the Alumni Hall of Success, Distinguished Service, our NCCA Distinguished Alumni, Emeriti, or all of those others that have earned an honor from the college, previous board members, founders, society members, and scholarship donors. Will you all please stand? There's a lot of you. Stand up. I might point you out if you are not standing. And we have some, again, honorees to be. Good job, kiddos. Good job. I'd also like to recognize the Northeast Community College staff for hosting this event. Our special, and everyone here knows, Dr. Tracy Cruzy, our Vice President for Development and External Affairs and Executive Director of our foundation. Also, Holly Quinn, Jasmine Gaden, Mason Zimmer, Abby Shademan, Jessica Sherry, David Boshin, Susan Green, and Jerry Gunther, who is not here tonight because Jerry Gunther, guess where Jerry Gunther is? Ready for this? He's a prayer doctor. He's going to see Ringo Starr. He kind of looked like Ringo Starr today as he exited the building. But we also have two other members of our foundation team who are not in this room tonight, but they are in the building working very diligently on a couple grants that are due in the next couple days, and that's Jerry Parks and Natalie Kent. So let's give them a hand for all the work they do to support our students. And so I don't forget, I just want to recognize this wonderful group of people over here to my right, your left. They are taking care of us, making sure this great event gets recorded and people that aren't with us tonight can see it. So thank you, Team Media Arts. So tonight we begin with the presentation of the Northeast Community College Alumni Hall of Success. This year we are recognizing 3 individuals. The Alumni Hall of Success is presented to former students who've achieved significant success in their profession, exhibited exemplary citizenship, or made significant contributions to their community. Recipients have completed a recognized diploma or degree from Northeast or completed at least 24 credit hours. The alumni being honored tonight have proven just that by accomplishing great things through their careers and throughout their communities. So the first person we're going to recognize tonight is Doug Decker. Serving the community has been his life's mission. Doug earned his Associate of Arts degree in Criminal Justice at Northeast in 1981. His first job out of college was as a Norfolk City police officer. Doug was hired a month before graduation and served with the police division for 13 years, working his way through the ranks to become a detective. At the same time, he was a member of the Norfolk Fire Reserve. An arson investigation further piqued his interest in firefighting, so he joined the fire department full-time. Shortly after, he returned to Northeast for paramedic training. Doug served 18 years with Norfolk Fire and Rescue. Doug taught emergency medical services classes at Northeast, which sparked his love for teaching. He served as the interim director of the college EMT and paramedic program while still being a full-time firefighter. In April of 2012, he became the full-time director of our paramedic program here at Northeast. After Northeast, Doug worked with Simulation in Motion in Nebraska and briefly for Sim Iowa. In June 2023, he was hired by the University of Iowa as the Western Regional Coordinator for Sim Iowa. Shortly after, he joined 1-800-BOARD-UP, a company that provides victim services, inspection, security, and restorative services after a fire or other emergency. He's currently the Director of Emergency Services for 1-800-BOARD-UP of the Omaha metropolitan area. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Doug Decker for his induction in the Northeast Community College Alumni Hall of Success, Class of 2024.
Thank you, everyone. Dr. Barrett, thank you so much to the Northeast folks that made this happen. I appreciate it. Somebody just asked me a couple minutes ago if I was nervous. I said, no, I do this. I talk in front of people all the time. That all changed about 2 minutes ago. So, again, I'd like to thank Northeast, and it's my understanding that my friends and co-workers, former co-workers, Tim Rogge and Jim Curry, helped with this nomination, and I appreciate that. So you just heard about who I am, and who I am would not be possible if it wasn't for a lot of other folks. And I wanted to talk about tonight just moments in time, about the millions of moments that we all have in this lifetime that we have. You know, some are obvious, long-term. Our parents, our siblings, my brother Mark, my sister Jane, are both sitting in the audience today. My children, Joseph and Christopher, are here, a firefighter and game warden. My other son, Michael, is currently coming back from Denver after having done the 9/11 stair climb in Denver, as he's a firefighter in Grand Island. So all of those moments in time you have with your family, and my wife, Cheryl, of course, sorry. Jeez, that was close. You know, all of those moments in time impact who you are and where you end up being. And like I said, those are obvious moments in time that you have. Some moments in time are very brief. It's standing in line at the ice cream shop in Papillion, Nebraska, and buying the ice cream for the person behind me in line, who 2 minutes later is crying on my shoulder because her daughter had been just hospitalized for mental health disorder. Random. It was a moment in time, but that shapes who I am. And I'm certainly going to do stuff like that because of impacts that are made in that moment of time that you never know what it's going to be. Co-workers, I already mentioned Tim Rogge, Scott Cordes, who wasn't able to be here today, Shane Widener, a couple of my former co-workers from Norfolk Fire here tonight. You know, all of those are obvious as far as, you know, what they do, but some of it's not, you know. The simple act of a day when you're having a horrible day at work and your coworker comes walking in with his infant son and lays him in bed next to you. Tim, that moment impacted my life. As you can tell, it still does. And thank you very much. That meant a lot. Matt McCarthy, who's the Director of Criminal Justice here, he and I served briefly. Our careers crossed when we were both in law enforcement. And he kept me from jumping out the window of my office on many occasions because I wasn't understanding, why is this so hard? You know, it's just teaching. Well, it's way more than that. It's assessments and all those other things. And Matt was a fantastic person that helped me get through that. And Brandy, you're the glue that held that program together for longer than I think you want me to say. And thank you for everything you did, because you got me to where I needed to be in that job. And happy birthday a couple weeks early, by the way. She shares a birthday with my wife, so it makes it easy for me. You know, and then there's other times when you meet somebody and you think it's just going to be a brief encounter, maybe last a little while, it ends up lasting a lifetime. Walking into the Science Ag building in 1979 and shaking hands with another student by the name of Mark Hecker, who became my best friend, the best man at my wedding, and unfortunately is no longer with us. But that time that I had with him led me to meet his family. His brother Steve. Mark lived in Steve's basement during that time, so consequently I spent a lot of time in that basement. But then I got to work with Steve at the police department. And Steve, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, you're the best detective I have ever met, the best cop I've ever met in my life. And the things that you taught me made me a better police officer every day, so thank you for that. Mark's brother Mike is here with us today. I briefly met Mike a couple of times and Mark's sister Peggy, but then when Mark passed away, I worked on a team of folks who came in and helped with his funeral because he was a line of duty death for law enforcement. And I got to spend a lot of time with Mike. And the Hecker family is an amazing family. I learned so much from them. I learned a lot about composure and grief and things like that from you. So thank you for that. She's not here tonight, but Mark's daughter, Tiffany. I learned from Mark how to be a parent a little bit. You know, I learned from my folks, of course, but I learned from Mark. Matter of fact, I've known Tiffany all her life because I was sleeping on a couch in the David City Hospital the day she was born, waiting for that, because Mark got me and we went down there together. Some are people that they're not even a first-person moment for you. In the audience today is Joy Schaefer and Marilyn LaCrosse, who are friends with my wife. And the things that they do with their friendship with my wife directly impacts me because of their friendship. And so even though I don't get a chance to see them very often, or the friendship is really with my wife, their moments are also very powerful. Angie Stinger and unfortunately Marissa Meyer was not feeling well. I get a phone call at the fire station one day. Hey, we're doing this radiothon for St. Jude's. Do you want to come answer phones? Well, the next thing I know, my head's shaved, Marilyn's shaving my legs. But it's a 15 or 20 year thing that I look forward to those 2 days in February every year because it is that amazing. All from a moment in time with a phone call saying, will you help? I say, yeah, let's go do that. Sounds kind of fun. Some of the moments are purposeful. I just was at an event earlier today where the Omaha Fire Department's getting a dog. It's a support family facility dog. So when firefighters have bad days, this dog can come into their facility. And there's all kinds of studies, and I don't want to bore anybody with it, but there's a lot of good reasons for this. And for too long, as a first responder, it was not okay to be not okay. And we need to change that. It's okay not to be okay. And so when I talk about the purposeful moments, I talk about Mike LaCrosse. I've been seeing Mike for a long time in a professional manner, and he helps me stay on track. Mike, thank you. Your work is amazing, and we all need to understand that it's okay not to be okay and to ask for help. So all these things have one thing in common, and that is all these moments have come together in one man's life and brought me to this stage in front of you all. And right here, right now, is a good place. And all of you have, that I've mentioned, and Tim Miller and some other folks here from the college that I know, all of you have got me to this point. So this isn't my award. It's got my name on it, but it's your award too, because you brought me here. And I want to close with something that's probably going to get me in trouble. But when I talk about moments in life, I can't not talk about the moments that started 41 years, 2 days, and about 3 hours ago when I married my wife, Cheryl. We've had good days. We've had great days. We've had bad days. We've had frustrating days. But truly, honestly, I am the man I am today because of her. And without her, I am sure I wouldn't be standing in front of you today. Thank you.
I'm so excited that I don't have to make any comments after that. I just get to introduce another wonderful person. Let's give one more round of applause for Doug and the connections he makes. So people know me well enough to know when I have a microphone, sometimes I just need to say something. So during the month of September, we recognize Suicide Awareness Month. And so last night during our volleyball game, our counseling staff has created a theme for our month, which is called Hawks Matter. And so the volleyball team had their warm-up, they wore special warm-up jerseys. They were green, not red, but they said Hawks Matter on them, and a bunch of folks were wearing T-shirts in the stands. And it's such an important thing to remind us how much we need each other, and when we need help, all we need to do is ask. And so thank you for reminding us of that tonight, Doug. All right, now for our next recipient. She's a very active member of Northeast predecessor college, Northeastern Nebraska College. She continues to stay active in her own community of Marysville, Kansas. Rosemary Moni Milnar Wallstrom. We are so excited to award you this wonderful honor. Moni is originally from Verdigris and is a retired speech language pathologist from Marysville, Kansas. Moni attended Northeastern Nebraska College, where she earned an Associate of Arts degree in 1972. She was active in student government, played volleyball, and was a cheerleader. She was also crowned the All-Royalty Ball Queen and represented Northeastern Nebraska College in the Miss Nebraska Land pageant. Moni graduated in 1974 with a Bachelor of Science in Speech Language Pathology from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. She earned her Master of Arts degree in Speech Language Pathology from UNL in 1977 and has held the Certificate of Clinical Competence in Speech Language Pathology from the American Speech Language Hearing Association since 1978. From 1974 to 75, she worked as a speech language pathologist for the Educational Service Unit No. 1 in northeastern Nebraska, and then relocated to Kansas, where she continued her career. In Kansas, Moni has been actively involved in the Marysville community as a member and board member of many organizations, including the Marysville Youth Coalition, Marysville Education Association, the Kansas Speech Language Hearing Association, and the American Speech Language Hearing Association, to just name a few. In December 2022, Moni and her husband Cleve established the Rosemary Moni and Cleve Wallstrom Scholarship here at Northeast. This endowed scholarship supports students from the Northeast 20-county service area with a preference given to those that live in Knox County. So please join me in welcoming the stage Rosemary Moni Milner Wallstrom for her induction into our Alumni Hall of Success.
Northeastern Community College afforded a reserved girl the chance to further her education with a scholarship because another student from Verdigris High School canceled his scholarship and decided to go elsewhere. With 13 other brothers and sisters in my family, this meant a lot. I am humbled and honored to be selected and to be awarded as one of the recipients of the 2024 Northeast Community College Alumni Hall of Success. Thank you, President Barrett, Jasmine Gaydon, and staff for organizing the honor. An additional thanks goes to my parents and siblings, of which I have one sister over there. Oh, she's taking pictures, and her husband, Jerry. And my sister-in-law, Julie's here, and my husband, Cleve, and my son, Woody, and his fiancée, Laura, and her daughter, Elena, and a high school friend, Gary Farnick, and his wife, Teresa. And glad to have you here, Mary Pat, as well, for support. And thanks go to many colleagues and students and friends. You are the ones who led me to this honor. It was at Northeastern where I grew by participating in cheerleading. And by the way, I was on an intramural football team. Work study, volleyball, student senate, and I even sometimes studied. With Mrs. Teach, who was the Northeastern physical education instructor, and other schoolmates, players were recruited to form the first women's volleyball team. We defeated the University of Nebraska in one set early in the morning in a tournament in Lincoln, even after some of us on the volleyball team who were also on the student senate had been up all night cleaning after a school dance. I developed an interest in socializing with fellow students at the union. Once I overstayed my time, and as class was about to start, I took off running across the street only to slip on the ice and break my leg. They still let me be a cheerleader, sometimes surrounding my cast with pom-poms. After garnering my associate's degree at Northeastern Nebraska College, I went on to the University of Nebraska and received my Bachelor of Science in Speech Language Pathology. I was accepted into the master's program, and passing my Certificate of Clinical Competence exam allowed me to practice as a speech language pathologist for over 40 years. Recently, I went into a local business, and a college student interning caught me by surprise and said, "I had you as a speech teacher, and you taught me to say my S's correctly." He went on to say, "I liked going to speech." One of my former students, Dr. Tim Steele, currently a practicing audiologist in Kansas, received the 2023 honors of the Kansas Speech Language Hearing Association at our state convention. In Dr. Steele's opening statement, he stated, "One of the coolest things about our profession is that we get the opportunity to reach into the future." An example is Rosemary Wallstrom, my school-based speech-language pathologist, who touched the future by helping me as a child. Back then, I would have said, Rosemary Wallstrom. My profession helped me feel incredibly proud. It was an honor to help Dr. Steele and many others better their communication skills. Besides working as a speech-language pathologist, my family and I have enjoyed many adventures, such as whitewater rafting, national toboggan racing, and kayaking the Nepali coast in Kauai. Recently, we took a trip to Svalbard, north of Norway, to track polar bears. Here with National Geographic scientists, we studied the effects of global warming. This trip showed it will take a concerted effort of electric, solar, and nuclear energy to overcome carbon emission to help balance our globe. Thank you, Northeast Community College, for opening the door so I could find a satisfying career to improve lives and to improve our world. Thank you.
Let's give one more applause for our new friend, Moni. So our third honored alumni tonight is an entrepreneur, an author, a motivational speaker, a farmer, a carpenter, a husband, a father, and most importantly, am I correct, young children, grandfather, right? Most important part of this gentleman's life, I would agree. Leon Weiland attended Northeastern Nebraska College in 1969, intending to study psychology. But the highlight of his whole experience here was meeting his future wife, Jean. So as a student, the subjects Leon found most interesting really were not in the classroom. He did complete 32 credit hours of college work, while he applied his talents in what we call today a maker, a creator, a builder. Leon was comfortable working with his hands, and this year is celebrating 40 years of his creativity and his intellect with his company, Weiland Doors. In 1984, Leon founded Weiland Doors in an old barn with a dirt floor. Through countless hours of work, dreaming, drawing, engineering, selling, building, and shipping, Leon built an incredibly successful enterprise. Today, under the leadership of his son and two sons-in-law, the company has grown to 55 employees, with products reaching Ecuador and Bermuda. The company was recognized as the 2019 Nebraska Small Business Persons of the Year by the U.S. Small Business Administration and has been honored by the Norfolk Area Chamber of Commerce for its growth. Leon's greatest pride is the effect he has had on his community and family. He has been instrumental in maintaining and enhancing St. Leonard's Church, which is listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. His generosity extends globally as he's adopted children from impoverished countries and taken very good care of the children that are in the room tonight. His time and talent and resources have been devoted to both his community and individuals in need. Today, his focus is on teaching and inspiring others to become stronger, more spiritual, courageous, lovable, compassionate, patient, and kind. This is the central theme of his 2015 memoir, Smell the Dirt and Other Life Lessons Learned from the Ground Up. When asked what advice Leon would give to Northeast students, he shared that the most important thing, how to live and how to love, are not often taught in our schools. Seek love, believe in it. That is your purpose. In that, you will be all you can be. In the end, that is all there is. Please join me as Leon Weiland comes to the stage for this year's induction to the Northeast Community College Alumni Hall of Success.
Well, holy cow. That's quite an introduction. It's somewhat humbling to hear those things said about me. I never set out to gain honors or anything even close to this. My goal has always been to be a great husband, to be a great father, to be a great grandfather, and a great follower of Jesus. Everyone has talent. We all have talent. I have talented hands. People say I've got a great imagination. All the things that I've thought up and dreamt up and built and planned, those are all things that are gifts from God. I didn't develop these, but these gifts that I have are just all given to me. Everyone has, I always say, everyone has a box of tools. Some have a big box of tools, some has a little box of tools. Some boxes of tools cause people to be great accountants, be attorneys, to be a guy that digs ditches, that cleans our cesspools and pumps our crap out. All of these things are honorable professions, and all of these things comes as gifts from God. And I'm thankful for that. I'm really thankful for that. But as I come here to receive an award, it's really it's not for something that I really didn't earn. I didn't earn these hands. I didn't earn this imagination. I didn't earn all the things. I didn't earn these things. They were gifts from me. And I think about the Northeast. Back when we were there, by the way, Dale Ames was just a kid back then, and so was I. I see he's still from Neely. Anyway, there was one evening. I guess I got to talk about this one. This is the biggest thing that I received in Northeast. One evening, I was standing in the doorway of the students of the gym, and there was going to be a dance that night. And holy cow, this guy, a friend of mine, drove up and he parked in front of the gym, and he had this old 62 brown Chevrolet four-door sedan, whatever it was, and anyway, but sitting next to him was this, holy cow, I thought this was a real chick, okay? This was a real babe, and she still is. And I bounced out there, and I jumped in the car, and as I walked around the end of his car, I stepped in a water puddle and splashed water all over myself. Now I had a jacket on that was one of those jackets that, like if you spit water spread on something that's white, you can't hardly tell it. But this baby, you could tell it was all. I mean, I was speckled up, okay. And I jumped in the car. And right next to Gene was sitting in the middle, and my friend was sitting in the driver's seat. And I jumped in the car and introduced myself. But I'll tell you what, after that introduction with the speckled water all splashed all over me, I had to talk really fast. I still can talk fast. But my fast talking and my speech is always with one thing in mind: to bring others closer to God. To bring your walk with God to a better place. That's what I do. Because when you love someone, loving was wanting nothing but the absolute best for someone else, even at your own expense. It's wanting the best for someone else, even at your own expense. That's what love is. And so, when I say love, seek love, because that's all there, in the end, that's all there is. The day that you die, when you're on your deathbed and you closing your eyes for the last time, you're not going to wish you had more money. You're not going to wish you had more acquaintances. You're not going to wish you had more of anything. There's only one thing. And that's this relationship that you have between your God and yourself. That's all there is. And so I'm here to remind you of that. I mean, I can tell you about all kinds of experiences I've had in my life. I've had a lot of them. I've built a lot of things. But the one thing that I'm most proud of that I've built is a great family. Between Jean and I, we have built a great family. A bunch of my grandkids are sitting over here. Hey, you guys wave. This is just some of them. I have 22, okay? Anyway, we have 22, and they're all ours, okay? So anyway, I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of Jason and Rob and Amber and Vanessa and Carl and Jennifer and my wife Jean. They're all here, and we're in love. And we're in love with each other. And while indoors, we're celebrating our 40th year here pretty soon. And when we talk, we've been interviewing our people. We've been interviewing our people. And without exception, absolutely every one of them have said the reason why they just love while indoors is because they're loved and they're safe. And I'm going to leave you with one thing. While indoors, what we have out there, and the reason why we're growing like crazy and people want to work for us, is because what we do out there is a manifestation of the love of Jesus Christ in business. And we think that's the way it should be, and we're really proud of that. And I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you.
So Leon, thank you so much for reminding us of the love that we have for our families and the love that we have for what we've been given and what we learn and what we earn. And I will tell you, I had the pleasure of meeting some of your family members, some of the first people I met when I came here. And we didn't necessarily talk specifically about you, but we talked about how important it was to provide opportunities for young people that might not have grown up in a farm and been forced and required and expected to use their hands to get through life. But for those young people that needed the opportunity, because that's how they think and that's how they learn and that's how they create. And so when you talk about your family is making an incredible impact in our community, and your grandchildren who have such a love for robotics, as well as some of our folks that are filming us tonight. That hands-on learning is something that we believe so passionately about at Northeast Community College, and we're investing our time, our energy, and quite a bit of federal government money in creating something downtown that we really will. It will be an opportunity. For an innovation center, for robotics, for hands-on learning, for our children to be able to try things and solve problems and be the leaders and the creators and the builders that we know we need for tomorrow. So people like you that have created a business and use your hands to do that and recognize that we do have learning in the classroom. We also have learning outside that classroom. So thank you for your hard work, your sweat, and those tears. So congratulations. What inspirational stories that we've heard tonight from Doug, Moni, and Leon and their families. Once again, let's congratulate the three of them as we induct them into our Hall of Fame. So each year, the Nebraska Community College Association honors 5 distinguished alumni from Nebraska's community colleges. The award is presented by we call it NCCA, to one distinguished graduate from each of the colleges. So recipients for these awards were previously inducted into our Northeast Alumni Hall of Fame, as Doug, Moni, and Leon have tonight. And tonight, it's my honor to recognize Thomas E. Rudloff. Tom graduated from Northeast Community College in 1983. Tom embarked on his professional journey as an electrician at Creighton Electric, where he worked for 10 years. He then transitioned to North Central Public Power District, initially serving as a load management technician and apprentice lineman. Over his 20-year tenure at North Central, Tom held various roles, including lineman, line crew chief, general foreman, supervisor of engineering services, and purchasing and operations manager. His dedication to the industry was further demonstrated by his completion of the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association's Management Internship Program, which trains future leaders in the electric utility sector. During his time at North Central, Tom returned to college to further his education, earning his bachelor's degree through the Northeast Wayne State College 2+2 program. He continued his studies and obtained a Master of Arts degree in Business Administration in May of 2004. In January 2009, Tom took on the role of General Manager at Elkhorn Rural Public Power District. He held this position until his recent retirement, after 44 years of service in the public power and electrical industries. In addition to his professional achievements, Tom served in the Army National Guard from 1981 to 1987. Tom, thank you for your service to the Army National Guard and also to Northeast Nebraska. Tom is enjoying spending time with his family, hunting, fishing, reading, traveling, gardening, volunteering, and just being retired. He's active in his church, the Knights of Columbus, and also drives veterans to the VA for their medical appointments. Please welcome to the stage, Tom Rutherford.
Good evening, and thank you, Dr. Barrett, for that kind introduction. Thank you to Northeast Community College and all the folks that worked hard so we could have such an enjoyable evening. Congratulations to Mr. Decker, Mrs. Wallstrom, and Mr. Weiland for their well-deserved introduction into Northeast Community College Alumni Hall of Success. Well done. Again. To say I'm shocked and very humbled, yet grateful to receive the Nebraska Community College Association's District Distinguished Alumni Award, as I have met many awesome people, and as you have seen tonight, many awesome people from the Northeast Community College that would be very deserving of this award. Therefore, I'm quite sure the reason I stand before you this evening has far less to do with me and more to do with people around me and the blessings of the Lord has provided. Tonight, I want to share with you a few of those blessings and hope that you can relate to those in your own lives. One of my most important blessings has been my family, my kind and loving wife, who is beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside, and more importantly, always leads our family and others towards the Lord. Many who know me say to me, "Tom, you really outkicked your coverage by Marion B." I just smile and nod because I know they're right. B and I are blessed to have two boys, Josh and Aaron. Josh is a graduate of Northeast Line Department and is doing very well in the line industry. Aaron is a teacher and coach and has an amazing gift to work with youth. They have grown into fine young men that are very caring of others, and we are so very proud of them. Much like their father, they are blessed with beautiful, kind, and loving girls in their lives, Echo and Emma. I could share with you about my parents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, and in-laws, but we do have to get out of here tonight. And B and I come from very big families, so let's just say we are very blessed in the family department. When I think about all the people that I have met in my lifetime, friends, coworkers, fellow students, and even the people that I've only had an occasion to briefly meet, all impacted my life in some way. Most were very helpful, very positive, and helped me to grow. I was blessed to work with and know some pretty amazing people. There were a few folks that I did encounter that were a bit, let's just say, challenging. But in reflection, I think those were opportunities to learn and grow as well. They just required a little more help from the Lord. Yes, I can remember saying, Jesus, please give me patience. On a few occasions, but very few. Not only are we blessed by the people in our lives, but we are blessed to be in a free country. I know we are in the middle of the election process, and though you are all probably pretty excited about all the campaigns and the ads, and the love that's being shared, again, Jesus, give us patience. But yes, the United States of America may not be perfect, but there is no better place in this world. We have freedoms and opportunities that many countries can only dream of. Those freedoms have come at a cost, and we are blessed to have men and women in the military that have sacrificed much to protect our freedoms. So we must remember them in our prayers and be thankful for their service. One very important thing that makes the United States so amazing is our access to education and opportunities that this education can provide for us. And frankly, Northeast is one of the best at providing this education that leads to opportunities. Perhaps you are or were a traditional student or maybe a non-traditional student. It really doesn't matter, as they will work with you to help you achieve your goals. Perhaps you wanted to take a single class in something that you always wanted to try, maybe just for fun or to sharpen your skill sets. Perhaps you wanted to get a 2-year degree, enter the workforce, and get a great job. Perhaps you wanted a 4-year degree. Northeast is a great place to start that process. Lastly, perhaps you wanted to be a lifelong learner, which I would highly recommend. And guess what? Northeast can help you in that as well. Northeast is truly a blessing. And no matter where you are in your journey, they can help you with that next step. In Northeast, you might hear, and did hear tonight, Dr. Barrett say, onward, upward. And they are spot on, because they did it for me and many others, and they can do it for you. We are truly blessed to have Northeast in our community. This evening, as I recounted a few of my blessings, hopefully you also thought about yours, and I hope they were many. Please take some time to thank the Lord for your blessings. I know I will. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, you bet.
I can fix it. I'm an electrician.
You're not just kidding. Oh, that was so wonderful. Thank you all very much. I do feel connected tonight with our speakers. As I met some people tonight, I found someone that lived in my hometown for a little bit, over there from the Decker family, and I am proud and honored to be a minister's daughter, and so it's been very fun as we talked about our blessings tonight, and the love for our families and the love for our college. A few years ago, I asked Dr. Cruzy, who really is in charge of this wonderful program, if we could also recognize a few other people as part of this event. And each year, the Nebraska Community College Association recognizes a board member, a faculty member, and a staff member at our annual event. And so I just can't celebrate people enough. And so it's really fun for me tonight to be able to introduce 3 other people that will be honored later in November. But I share this honor tonight because I think it's important. When we have wonderful people in our midst, we want to make sure and recognize them. So from Northeast Community College, we have 3 nominees for these awards. And so I am going to introduce them to you. The first will be Brandon McLean, who's our Executive Director of our Physical Plant Operations, Sarah Barrett, who's an accounting instructor, and then Donovan Ellis, the District 1 board member from Pierce with the Board of Governors Award. And so I'm going to read just a little bit about them. They are not going to give remarks. They are very thankful that we're not making them, even though I'd like to mess with them and tell them they have to give remarks. But first, we're going to recognize Brandon McLean, who serves as the Executive Director of our Physical Plant Operation. In fact, I was sitting with our board chair today, Brandon, and so I'm going totally off script now, but our board chair said to me as he drove into campus, he said, I got to tell you 2 things. And he told me one thing that I don't even remember what that was, but the second thing he told me was, he goes, you have to commend the physical plant staff. This campus looks absolutely beautiful. And I just want to make sure that people know one of the reasons we're recognizing Brandon tonight is because of his standards of excellence that he believes in and ensures that every staff member that works in that operation has. And he's kind, and he's thoughtful, and he's a great planner. So his role includes our grounds, our custodial services, shipping and receiving, environmental health and safety, security, and then our motor pool operations. He approaches his work with a thoughtful attention to detail, with a consistent goal of providing the best experience for employees and students while effectively utilizing our college resources. He'll take an initial idea, ask the right questions, obtain the information, and come up with incredible ideas and solutions. So let me recognize as our outstanding staff member of the year, Mr. Brandon McLean. So now we get to recognize Sarah Barrett. Our names are spelled differently, but at least we pronounce them the same. Sarah, you're a pillar of strength and leadership within our accounting program since you arrived 17 years ago. In addition to teaching a full schedule of courses, you often take on additional courses to ensure Northeast is meeting the needs of our students. You're an enthusiastic educator and with proven communication and interpersonal skills. You have a wonderful sense of humor when you interact with your students and your colleagues. You encourage them to ask questions and take ownership for their own learning. You mentor new faculty members and represent faculty on both the strategy and improvement team and for the planning team for the new McClay building, just to name a few things that you've done. So it is such an honor for me tonight to recognize you. Ms. Sarah Barrett, will you please come on stage? So last and certainly not least, Donovan Ellis. Donovan, you warm my day every single morning. I receive an email from Donovan that gives me a start to the day that each of us needs. Donovan, you understand the role that community colleges play in higher education. As the Pierce resident said when he originally applied, we're going to bring you back to 2018. Donovan, when you applied to be on the board of the directors, this is what you said. You said community colleges offer opportunities that would otherwise be unavailable to students. If these community colleges did not exist, many would not be able to achieve the dream of higher education. They're a vital asset to the communities that we serve. It would be hard to more clearly and succinctly state it. Donovan is an incredible advocate for higher education at an affordable cost ever since he began his role as one of our board members. Donovan and his wife Barb are frequent visitors to our campuses, representing the Board of Governors with grace and thoughtfulness, getting to know our students, our faculty, and staff. I am so honored to recognize you as this year's NCCA Board of Governors nominee. Donovan. So thank you all very much for being with us tonight. This does include our awards program. We extend our congratulations one more time to this stellar group of individuals. So before our honorees leave tonight, we do want to get some photos taken so we can remember this evening as part of the history of Northeast. The photos will be taken up here next to the stage, so please come this way once we give you one more round of applause. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please travel safely and onward, upward, Northeast.